watching Fox 13's Good Day Tampa Bay.
I got a great story for you today. Shriners Children, I got to read it because it's a mouthful. Shriners Children's Pediatric Orthotic and Prosthetic Services Fabrication Center.
Ooh.
That's where I am. So what does that mean? I am with people who make the most amazing braces, orthotics, and prosthetics for children, even little bitty baby children across the country. High-tech stuff that they can make a child smile who might need a leg and a foot, but they got Moana on it. So it makes it a good day for that child. Shriners Children's, of course, doing such great work across the country. This fabrication center right here in Tampa, people are doing this hard work and they can do it accurately and quickly to get it out to the patients. And it's just amazing. I'm gonna give you a tour of this facility. I'm gonna show you what they do, and we're gonna make it a good day, Tampa Bay.
And so
hanging out with Shriners Children's.
With all those little limbs growing, you know, all the time, they're going to have those adjustments.
That's right, because you have to replace them.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing, and I'm going to explain it this morning.
All right.
Good day to you, Russell and Laura. I have a wonderful story for you today. A facility here in Tampa where they make custom braces, prosthetics, and these are obviously for children across the country, even tiny little babies, all custom made. And the people here putting in the hours, working hard to do this, will never meet the patient. But they're doing it because, of course, Shriners are behind it. Shriners Children's Pediatric Orthotic and Prosthetic Services Fabrication Center. That is where we are having a good day, Tampa Bay. I'll tell you all about it.
All right, let's get over to Charley Belcher, see what he's up to by now. Hey, Charlie.
Such a neat story here to tell you about. And look at this, Laura Moody. Look at that tiny baby, literally little orthotic brace, complete with a little baby shark on it. This is what is being manufactured here in Tampa. In fact, we're going to show you the technology, the machinery behind Shriners Children's Pediatric Orthotic and Prosthetic Services Fabrication Center. Angels working here for patients they'll never meet. I'll explain next. Hi there, everybody. Hi there, everybody. Slurring the words right out of the gate. Sorry about that. Let's start over. Hi there, everybody. I'm Charley Belcher coming to you. I'm nervous about this, so that's what I got to read it because it's a mouthful. Shriners Children's Pediatric Orthotic and Prosthetic Services Fabrication Center. That's where I am. I can explain what they do here much better than I can say the title. Someone else who can is Joanne right here, who's the director of this center and actually director of prosthetics and orthotics braces for all of Shriners Children's.
Correct.
Right, Joanne?
Yep.
So it's amazing work happening here by hardworking people who may never and probably won't ever meet the patient on the other end.
They don't. Everything comes to us from every state, from all of our facilities, and this facility fabricates all of the custom-made orthotic and prosthetic services for all of our patients.
Well, we used to have a Shriners Children's Hospital here. It is no longer in service here, and this was also happening on that same site, but we didn't want to lose this here in Tampa. So you moved to this newer location, and the work continues here to service Shriners Children's hospitals throughout the country.
Right. So all of our hospitals, really every state, we get jobs in from everywhere throughout the country and really the world because we provide international care. And then the devices are custom made here and then sent back to each of those facilities to be fit to those children individually.
It is amazing technology that you can fit these and custom make these down to the millimeter without the patient in the room.
Right. It's like having that patient here with us.
Yeah.
Computer-aided design or CAD technology really enables a scan to be able to be sent by computer. And it's like having that patient from Honolulu or Sacramento or Salt Lake City here with us in this facility while they're still at home going to school, playing baseball, doing their thing.
And you make braces, orthotic braces and prosthetics.
Correct. We make about 65,000 devices per year, about 55,000 orthotic devices or braces, and about 4,000 prosthetic devices, all custom made.
And we see that over here, she's sanding down a foam model of what will end up being a brace, right? Is that what that is over there?
Absolutely. That's the positive patient model from wherever that patient's from. She's getting that model ready to be made into a brace that will then leave this facility probably tomorrow.
It's just to just reiterate, handmade and custom to whatever the patient needs.
Every device in this facility is custom made.
Wow. It's just amazing the work being done here. Thank you, Jan, for giving us a tour. And we will take a deep dive into this tour. We're going to take you through the entire facility, show you how it's done. So stick around, everybody, for a very special time to see what all these great people are doing. More Good Day Tampa Bay is headed your way right after this.
Time to check in with Charley Belcher. Hi.
Good day to you, Russell, Laura. I'm at a place where they make prosthetics and braces for children, for Shriners Children's hospitals everywhere. Patients throughout the world. Starts with a piece of foam. The patient is digitally scanned, and then it is sent here, and then that arm or leg, or what's left of the arm or leg, is actually carved out of foam. That's what you see the machine doing right behind me here. Then that foam will be fitted for a brace or a prosthetic. It's an amazing process. We're going to take you on a tour when Good Day Tampa Bay continues. Good day, Tampa Bay, and happy Thursday to you. I'm Charley Belcher coming to you from Tampa. We're very close to Tampa International Airport. In fact, tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of cars drive by this facility. You never know what's happening inside it, but some great work is happening inside it because this is the Shriners Children's Pediatric, Orthotic, and Prosthetic Services Fabrication Center. They are making prosthetics and orthotic braces for children around the world right here in Tampa. Brad is the manager of this facility. It all starts really it starts wherever the patient might be. They get digitally scanned, and those measurements of that limb, either their leg that needs bracing or what's left of their leg, maybe after a cancer surgery or whatever happened to the poor child, that digital scan comes here and goes to the carver room.
That's right, Charlie. We're very fortunate to have the technology here in Tampa Bay that you see behind me. We service over 14 hospitals and clinics around the country.
Okay.
Those clinicians will take the scan of the child, they'll do the modifications to those scans, and we can receive those scans almost immediately. From that point, what we do is we take that scan, we assign it to one of our carvers, and then we begin the carving process.
And is that what AJ is? AJ considered?
AJ is our carver technician. You bet, local kid.
Yeah. Shout out to AJ over there working hard with dust in his hair. And so the foam carvings we're seeing happening right here, that in essence is creating the patient's limb.
That's correct. What we're doing is the clinicians on their side, after they do their scan, they send it here. We actually carve that limb. So we'll take that scan, we'll use the foam, we'll carve the limb, and then we'll go ahead and begin the fabrication process downriver. What's more important too is these are always digital scans. So in the old days when we used plaster, we actually had to recast a patient every single time they needed a new orthoses or a new prosthesis. With the digital technology, we're able to go ahead and carve another shape almost immediately on demand.
And you're right here by the airport.
Absolutely.
So you can get these out, sometimes when necessary, really quickly.
Yes, our shipping partner makes sure that we're the last stop before they hit the plane. So we have great access to the airport, so we can actually get it all the way to the West Coast or the East Coast for next day air shipping.
Wow, that's amazing. So from here, the patient's air quotes leg or arm, we're looking at looks like a foot right there, will then be fitted for a brace or prosthetic. We'll continue our tour of the facility, show you what happens next when Good Day Tampa Bay continues.
All right, let's get out to Charley Belcher, who is on a wonderful story this morning. Hey, Charley.
Definitely, Laura Moody. I'm at a place that makes prosthetics and orthotic braces for children, for all the children who are patients at Shriners Children's hospitals throughout the country and the world. So we showed you that the foam where they start carving the patient's limb or what's left of the limb, they do 60 to 65 of those a day. That's 60 to 65 children, by the way. Once they are fabricated out of foam, it comes here where Timothy modifies it, gets it absolutely perfect, because from here, the brace or prosthetic will actually be fabricated around what they've made here out of foam. We'll continue to show you the process as Good Day Tampa Bay continues. Good day, Tampa Bay. Happy Thursday. I'm Charley Belcher coming to you from Tampa, not too far away from the airport, in fact, at a manufacturing facility, which is for Shriners Children's Pediatric, Orthotic, and Prosthetic Services Fabrication Center. Here's where they make orthotic braces and prosthetics for patients at Shriners Children's hospitals throughout the country. Brad is the manager of this facility. Okay, so we saw the foam carving. We saw Timothy get it just perfect.
Absolutely.
So now we got to put a brace or a prosthetic. We got to put for this instance, we have a brace.
That's correct.
We're going
an orthotic device, you betcha.
All right, and so we go into this room, the oven and pulling room.
That's right. We're very lucky to have two quality technicians in here, Johnny and Jimmy. What Johnny's doing right now is he's going to be putting a paper transfer that the child selects or the parents select.
Oh, wait, let's see that. Sorry, that's some rocket ships.
That's right.
I like that.
That's it.
So the patient said, I want rocket ships on my brace.
Absolutely.
And by golly, we're going to give them rocket ships.
And we're going to do everything we can to get them rocket ships. So Johnny's placing that paper transfer on the plastic, and what we're going to do is give it a quick second to cure. And then what you're going to see today is Johnny and Jimmy will actually thermoform that plastic over the shape that you saw being carved earlier.
Out of foam.
That's correct.
So that's like, back in the day, that would be, you'd have the patient's leg here and it'd be like plaster of Paris.
That's right.
Go into all that trouble. Now, thanks to digital technology, you don't have to do that.
That's correct. And we have the innate ability to repeat the process if perchance the brace gets broken. Sometimes those things happen.
Sure.
Kids are really rough on devices.
So that's literally hot plastic now going over that foam form.
That's correct. And what Johnny's doing right now is he's shaping the plastic to the form of the mold. And then what we're going to do is we're going to evacuate that through our vacuum forming. So the vacuum will pull all of the air out of there, and the plastic takes shape to the leg. Yep.
Now that would sit up. Joe, we're moving, so Joe can stay with us. That would sit then for 24 hours.
That's right. Unfortunately, plastic has memory, and if we cut too early, things don't go well.
So after 24 hours.
Very blessed to have a certified technician over here, and what she's doing is so that we can go ahead and begin the fabrication of the orthotic device.
So she's taking it off the foam.
That's correct. You just saw it get on the foam.
Yeah.
Now Miss Veronica's cutting it off the foam, and what we're going to do is she's going to fabricate that device to the specifications of the clinician that sent us the original scan.
Wow, it's just amazing that this patient could be in Hawaii.
Absolutely. This patient right now is located in Philadelphia. I see the work order that she's working on. So this device will get fabricated today, and it'll get shipped back to Philadelphia, and that device could be fit as early as tomorrow morning if needed.
And you see all the different designs. There's some of them on the desk there. I see a unicorn over there. I mean, that's kind of cool that the kids can try to make it.
Yeah.
Look, it's a tough thing they're going through.
Yeah, exactly.
It might make it better.
It does. And you know what? We want to make sure that kids are happy as you can be when you're wearing a device like this. Horses or unicorns, we can make it happen.
I love it. All right, stick around, everybody. And we will also continue our tour of this pediatric, orthotic, and prosthetic.
Right now, though, we're checking in with Charley Belcher. Good morning.
Russell and Laura, I'm going to break your heart a little bit here.
Okay.
But the good part of the story is that there's so many helpers here helping children in need, children who might need a little baby prosthetic arm. I mean, you look how tiny that little arm is. I mean, look at that little leg right there. Wow. And this is for a patient who needs a prosthetic, a patient at a Shriners Children's Hospital. Look at this one they made. They can custom do almost anything. This child is a drummer. So look at that. It's a prosthetic arm, complete with music notes, with the drumstick attached. I know. Your first instinct is it breaks your heart, but how wonderful is this? Let this make you smile, folks, because this is amazing. This child will play the drums just like they were meant to do, thanks to the work being done right here in Tampa Bay and what's being done with Shriners Children's Hospitals throughout the country. We'll show you how they make these prosthetics when Good Day Tampa Bay continues.
All right, stay with us. Straight ahead, we got Charley Belcher out at the Shriners Children's Fabrication Center, and we're going to check in with him when we come back.
Good day, Tampa Bay. I'm Charley Belcher here in Tampa, really close to Tampa International Airport, at a manufacturing facility that is quite special, like none other I've ever visited before. This is for Shriners Children's Pediatric, Orthotic, and Prosthetic Services Fabrication Center. They make orthotic braces and prosthetics for children who are patients at Shriners Children's Hospitals throughout the country. Joanne is in charge of that program throughout the country. This has been such an eye-opening morning. I love seeing these heroes helping heroes. And we talk braces. We're going to talk specifically prosthetics here. This is what they look like before they go in the lamination room.
Right. So when these are actually sent in from our facilities, the prosthetic socket is the most important part of any prosthesis. So these are fit in the facilities with the patients to wear them. Once they get the alignment of where the socket, which is what goes over what's left,
right,
and then connects
that comfort in here is pivotal.
And then what's missing, and then the foot. So they then send that back, and we have a process here to make the finished product.
So it doesn't look so fake.
Correct.
Right? I mean,
but it gets a little more artful.
That's right.
The kids have a lot of input. They send in materials of their team, or they go to the fabric store and they pick out the designs that they want, more so even than the orthotic options.
And I love that it's not necessarily they want it to look realistic more than they want it to look crazy.
Cool.
And fun and
yes.
Cool. That's amazing. Okay, we're going to now go into we're going to send Joe into the lamination room. Brad is the manager of the facility here. So what are we going to see in here, Brad?
Yeah, my technicians right now, Kyle is actually introducing resin into the socket that Joanne had showed you. This young child has picked out a pattern, and what Kyle is doing is once that resin sets up, that'll actually harden. That will be the child's new socket to begin the fabrication of attaching the pylon on the foot. Once that's all done, it goes back to the clinic, and the clinician will actually fit the child so they have a new leg. How awesome is that?
It's with a capital A, man.
Right? Yeah.
It's awesome with a capital A, and the fact that he's doing the work in there, he's never going to meet that patient probably.
Absolutely not. But what's really cool is using lightweight materials, right? We try to make it lightweight for the kids. Our kids are really, really tough on devices. So with the science behind the fabrication is very, very important. So we use carbon fiber, we use alternative fabrics to make them ultra light but yet ultra strong.
And again, give me a sense of how many of these you're cranking out of here in a day?
Well, like we said earlier, we do over 65 cars per day. Orthotics is a little different than prosthetics. We're probably averaging about 6 to 8 legs per day, or arms, and probably another 40 orthotic devices per day. So our average number per day is over 50 to 55 devices.
And you do 50, you say devices, but I'm thinking little kids in my head.
Hey,
when you say that.
That's right. They go on kids, and that's where the connect the dot things happen, right? We're such used to an Amazon world.
Right.
We can't order these online. These are all custom made. Everybody's shape is different.
Yeah. Brad, thank you so very much. And so when you think about supporting Shriners or Shriners Children's Hospital, this is what you're supporting. In Russell Rhodes, this is then what it would look like when it's all finished. This one is for a little girl, actually, who likes to run. And they were just telling me she also just got, she actually is missing her arms and her legs, and she's a rock climber. So she also just got 4 new prosthetics that enable her to rock climb. This is her running leg.
Isn't that amazing?
It's just amazing work happening right here. You drive by this facility on your way to the airport, you'd never know the magical work happening inside here.
Wow. So glad you showed it off today. That's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, me too.
Very cool. All right, thanks. See you.